Welcome to the first edition of the UMBC Coaches Corner for the fall 2017 semester. My name is Steve Levy. We're so glad to be back with you once again, and all the students of the MCS 395 class are manning the cameras, doing all the work upstairs. We're so glad to be participating in this once again this year. And it's my great pleasure to welcome in, I think every year that we've done this, we've had Chad Craddock, head swimming and diving coach on. And Chad, we really appreciate you participating in this and being back once again this year.
Thank you for having me.
Chad, to start our conversation, you've been a part of UMBC for now about a quarter century, more than half of your life, certainly. Came here in the early 90s as a student athlete, obviously as an assistant coach, and now the head coach in your 17th year at UMBC. I know this is a big encompassing question here, but what are the major changes you've seen over that quarter century being here in Baltimore?
Do we really have to say quarter century first?
I'm sorry. Well, look, for me it's plus 30, so I'm in worse shape than you are.
I'm not too into that, but hey. It's been amazing watching UMBC grow. When you first come here as a student and had about, I think, 8,000 students, maybe 8,500, and now we're up to like 14,500 approximately. So you're watching a huge growth. A campus is coming to almost double over its time, which is huge. It used to be much more of a commuter campus back when I was here. Now it's much more residential, which is a huge change. The offerings of majors have grown. The campus itself, when you look at the buildings, you just can't believe it, from the new fine arts facility with the theater and everything else, and now the event center about to come up, which I think is going to be huge for our campus to create events and excitement. And then right next to the pool, they tore down that one-level theater, and now we're looking at a huge building going right next to it, right with the quad, and that's the life science and interdisciplinary building. So we're pretty amazing to watch the growth. And then on the sports side, our teams, since I took over, is well over double, and we're continuing to grow and be much more successful, not only on a local level but international level as well.
One thing that really hasn't changed, though, is the success of the swimming and diving program. I believe 18 men's championships, 8 women's championships at the Division I level since the program started. It's one thing, Chad, to get there and to get one championship, maybe 2, but it's something else to maintain that level of excellence. What's your secret? How have you done that?
Well, it starts with our alumni. I have to thank our alumni. I mean, they created a great foundation even before I got here, and the original coach, Sid Burkott. There's only been 2 of us, Sid Burkott and myself, and we were pretty successful. We didn't win a championship under Sid, but it was the start of the program, and then all the way up to, when I graduated, and then right after we graduated, we won. That's how it works, right?
Right, of course.
But I find it very difficult to stay on top. You're really the hunted. People are hunting you, and they're looking for every reason to try to beat you and figure out how. It's a lot easier to be that underdog, and we prefer to be that underdog. And I don't know if we're going to talk about it later, but we're changing conferences for the men, where we were in the CCSA, and now we're going back to the America East, which is the same as the school. When we went to the CCSA, there was limited expectation of us, and so we were actually the underdogs then, but now we're going, as what they would consider the big chiefs going into the America East, and people gun for you, and it makes it really difficult. So we have to really kind of pay attention, not rest on our laurels, and really take one championship at a time. And once we win that, start focusing on the next one. The past is in the past, and we got to look at the future.
We definitely do want to get to the 17-18 season, but we'd be remiss if we didn't recognize one young lady that, one of the best all-time athletes ever to compete at UMBC in 50 years, Emily Escobedo, a 3-time Athlete of the Year at UMBC. It's too much big of a list to mention all of her swimming accolades, but, what did Emily mean to UMBC swimming and to UMBC athletics, and quite frankly, to the university itself?
Well, the best thing about Emily was she's just a person, and she treated everyone with respect and dignity, and she did it the right way. She worked hard every day. She was dedicated to the sport, and she was dedicated to the team. She never wanted to be treated any differently, but quite frankly, she was different, and she is different. She was just named to the U.S. national team. She's 12th in the world So she is now a professional athlete. But coming from so far, starting here at a time of 2:15 in the Turner breast to 2:05 when she was already good, dropping 10 seconds over her college career is huge in a Turner breast. And as far as the school, I think she put us on the map, you know, and we gained a lot of respect through the nation in the sport. And she's admired. She's one of those people that's, you know, people are cheering for her. So when we're at NCAAs and she took third, the other schools are cheering for Emily. They're cheering for us. Like, and there's where the underdog comes back in. We're considered an underdog, and she's going against top swimmers like Lily King and people that have been at the Olympics and, you know, and winning medals, and she's right there. And so this U.S. Open, this past U.S. Open this summer, she was outstanding, finishing 12th. She's currently training here up to December. And then she's going to end up going back home to her home club and coach after that. But we're grateful for the experience and everything she gave us. And I'd be remiss to talk about all the international athletes. We had 3 at World Championships this summer, and that's huge. Mohammed finished 17th in the world. You had in the 200 IM, you had Hanya doing it for the first time, and she's finishing, I think, in the top 23, was it 23rd? And then you have an amazing young man who swam 25K, and he finished 23rd in the nation as well, and that's Hytham. And then we have several national champions, which is Nicola, and then you have Alexander Glees, who just broke the Danish national record, and that's, you know, these guys are doing some great things and putting us on the map across the world.
Any potential NCAA qualifiers you see from that group this year, Chad? Is that a possibility?
I don't like to put pressure on my athletes. I don't like to talk about that. I think that's our goal. Like, I know it's our goal. We've talked about it. The athletes really put a lot of pressure on themselves, and we will do it the right way. We'll be happy. We'll work hard. We'll focus on our studies, and that's most important. So I mean, I know what our athletes want, and their goals are my goals.
So Chad, you mentioned it a few moments ago, but the big change obviously this year is the men kind of come back to America East. I know you loved your time in the CCSA. They treated you guys very well. You had a lot of success there. But certainly having both programs within the America East certainly pays definitely dividends for your program.
Yeah, firstly, I am grateful to the CCSA, and I hope that they actually take a look at this, because they gave us 4 excellent years of competition. They treat us with respect, and you know, to take us in when we didn't really have a conference or a home was huge. And on the America East, we're excited. We're excited to have our men and women back together. I think they have a great chemistry and energy. I think the conference as a whole needed it. You know, there's a lot of downtime in our conference championship. Now it's going to be constant action, and honestly, the men's spirit helps the women's spirit, and the women's spirit helps the men's spirit all together. So we're excited for that. We know it's a growing conference on the men's side. It's even growing even more on the women's side. We have 2 new teams as well, and the America East has always also treated us well. We love the way they support our sports, and I'm really proud of the way the coaches amongst the America East work together to create the best environment for our athletes. So we're definitely excited. The biggest thing I'm most excited about is that Worcester tends to have a little bit of blizzards when we show up. So last year there was 2 blizzards while we were there, and my flight got canceled, and I had to drive all the way through the night, get on the men's bus, and head down to Georgia. So we're going from Massachusetts, basically Boston area, all the way down to Georgia. Trying to get there within like 24 hours was quite difficult, especially when your flight's canceled. So I'm excited about the logistics coming together a little bit easier for our program as well, and have everyone together.
Right. Well, this certainly probably will air after your first couple of meets, but I want to wish you the best of luck in your opener against Seton Hall, which comes up October 6th, and certainly your home opener against Navy. That's always a big-time meet. That happens October 13th. So, Chad, again, we appreciate all you've done for UMBC. Appreciate you being here, and best of luck this season.
Thank you very much.
Once again, men's and women's swimming. A big home schedule in the month of January, so you can check out the schedule of the swimming and diving team, and really all the teams at umbcretrievers.com. For the Coach's Corner, I'm Steve Levy. We'll see you next time.